Hi, my name is Ruchi Doctor and thank you so much for being here. People really do not change through advice and they change through turning points. Why do I say that? It's been my 21 year of journey working with n number of people across the globe, and one thing I've realized, the moment I realized this, I stopped giving advice to people because people do not change. They do not change because they get the right advice. They only change because they realize this is a turning point of my life. If advice change people, lot many people would do changes fast. Rich, headed, emotional, stable, all these things really people change. We would definitely follow certain rules, break every bad habits, and life would be predictable. But life isn't predictable. People aren't predictable, and change is definitely not predictable. Why it is so? Here is the truth. And the truth is that people really do not change through advices. They change through turning points. And what are these turning points? How this turning point comes? How you get turning point in your life? That is very important. So let me tell you first of all, what is a turning point? Turning point is a moment where life stops whispering and starts shouting. It is when the pain becomes very loud, louder than excuses. You don't give excuses and you want to make it happen. When your old story collides with a new enemy, and suddenly the person you were is no longer tolerable to the person you are becoming, and the advice gives awareness. It's good to get an advice from people, but when you have a turning point, when something is burning inside, that is where transformation takes place. Advice says you should stop, and turning point says if you don't stop, something will break. And that is where people change. And advice says you can do it better, nothing wrong about it. But turning point says you can't continue like this. And that is where people change. Advice informs you, and turning point really interrupts you. It makes you shake your life. Think about your own life. You didn't change because someone said, be disciplined, be this, be that. You change because life happened, your moment, and demanded some discipline, demanded some change, demanded to get into uncomfortable zone. It embarrasses you, sometimes it rejects you, sometimes it helps you to shake your life, sometimes it tells you to do this and do not this. And that is where you start recognizing yourself. Or maybe you got tired, or now you own your own story. And that is your turning point. Turning point is like, a pattern breaker, a reality check, a moment that pulls you forward, a moment that pulls you awake. It pushes you towards something unknown, something different, and you start realizing this is where I need to do something different to change my life. And turning point doesn't come from comfort. It never comes. They come from all the frictions of life. Turning points come from a failure of life. Turn is something like, it gives you a truth about life. What you are doing which was not working, and now what you have to change and do it which will work, and you hit the wall. A relationship ends because of that. A dream collapses because of that. A health scare shakes you. Anything which is so uncomfortable to your life creates some change inside of you, some feeling, some pain inside of you, and pain takes you to the next turning point. And that is where you are inviting your new version. And this version of you can definitely go further. If you do not change inside, if you do not feel inside, you can't build your time, you can't build your life, and you can't build your desired environment. And that is where your real power lies. The moment you realize that I want to change, I want to rise, I want to become better, I don't own this life, my story, I want to write my own way. I really belong, I don't belong here, I belong to an intellectual community, I belong to a very emotionally powerful people, I belong to a psychological, spiritual, personal upliftment. And that is when a person becomes unstoppable. The moment you change your environment, the moment you change your thought process, the moment you realize that you really deserve better, you need identity, you need clarity, you need the truth, and that is where you change. Because change doesn't start from someone tells you what to do and what not to do. Change actually starts when life makes you see who you are. And in that moment, everything transforms. People really do not change through advice, they change through turning points. And if you are listening, if you are watching this video right now, maybe someone invited you on this page, or maybe you were just following me and trying to find new life. Let me tell you, this is something I'm sharing from my real life experiences. A girl who started from nothing and doing something incredible, amazing work is because of that turning point. I have had n number of turning points in my life which really shook me, which really threatened me, which really made me very, very fearful, scary. I would say that inside of my heart, I was feeling that I will never get out of this. And that scary environment created momentum for me. So, I understand that you also do not wait for some advice, and if someone is giving you advice, you are not going to follow it. But find your turning point. Life is waiting for you. Life is happening when you change. I see you soon in the next video.